Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the Thursday Night Football Showdown slate. We have the Rams and the Seahawks, and this is going to be a good matchup. We've had, some below average matchups last few weeks in Thursday Night Football, but this one should be much better. High total game and two pretty solid teams. So excited to talk about this. But if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos as well as live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these videos, I also upload an Apple Podcast. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you are interested in signing for premium content, now is the perfect time. Beginning of the month, I offer it on Patreon.com. A few different packages. Esports package includes Call of Duty and CSGO. NBA package, I'm covering every single preseason slate. And the NFL package, we go over every single show on slate as well as the main slate. And I do want to thank today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Okay, my mouse was frozen there for a sec. I do want to thank, again, sponsor of the show, Prize Picks. So for NFL, there are a few different ways you can play. The first way is the original way where you take over-under on just straight fantasy points, like Stafford, projected for 23 fantasy points. Again, you take the over, the under, or you can go over to single stat, and they have passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions, passing touchdowns, touchdowns in general, reception touchdowns, pass completions, interceptions. So if you guys prefer to go to like Matt Stafford and passing yards, or would you rather take over under that instead of the fancy points, you can do that. You can mix and match sports too. They have NBA, covering preseason again, college football, PGA, WNBA, basically everything you can think of. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up using my code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link in the description below. You get a 100% match up to $100. And finally, I want to thank you guys again for your continued support. Again, just hit 10,000 subscribers the other day. So if you guys do enjoy all this content, if you could hit the like button, let's try to aim for 100. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and go live. Okay, so before we get into players and the prices for the Thursday night slate, let's look back at my lineup here from Monday Night Football Showdown. So Monday night went really well for me. This is my final lineup. Austin Eckler in the captain with Derek Carr, Waller, Allen, Cook, and Guyton. And what I was hammering home on Patreon was I wanted 4 of the 5 of Eckler, Keenan Allen, Waller, Carr, and Herbert. I wanted to pick 4 of those 5 guys and go 2 value plays. 2 of my preferred value options were Cook and Guyton. Guyton was fine for his price, or he's super cheap. And Cook obviously was really good, caught a touchdown, 6 catches, and 70 yards. So it went really well for me. Hope you guys had a good night. And then going over the winning lineup, again, this is in the luxury box. So Eckler in the captain with Herbert, Carr, Allen, Cook, and Justin Jackson. Again, obviously got a little bit of boost. Eckler went down early in the first half, but ended up coming back in. So Jackson and Roundtree got a little more work than I think they should have. Eckler's playing really well, but that's a story for another day. All right, so that's it for the look back for myself as well as the luxury box. All right, so let's talk about players and their prices here, and we'll start off with the Rams. The Vegas total, so it's a 54.5 over-under, and the Rams are currently 2-point favorites. Okay, so looking at the Rams snap counts last week, Darrell Henderson came back from rib injury, and played 90% of the snaps. Sonny Michel only played 10%. At wide receiver, you had KUPP and Woods basically played the entire game, 96% of the snaps. Van Jefferson played over 2/3 of the game, 68%, and you had DeSean Jackson playing about 1/3 of the game, 32%. And at tight end, HIGBEE played 79%, and Johnny Munt played 29%. So taking a look at players and their prices, let's start with the 2 main wide receivers. Cooper KUPP at 12.4, Robert Woods at 7.6. I think we can agree Cooper KUPP does have more upside than Robert Woods, but he's also way more expensive, right? You have KUPP at 12.4 as opposed to Robert Woods only 7.6K. Right? Last year, these guys were always the same price. So, point per dollar, probably a small lean to Robert Woods over Cooper KUPP. Now, obviously, again, I think that KUPP does have more upside, but you're going to have to pay a premium for him at 12.4. Matt Stafford at 11.4, I think, is one of the safest options on the board. The Rams are a pass-first team. This is a high total game. Seahawks defense not great, so I think Stafford very, very safe. And then I also think Henderson, if he's available, and I think he will be, is safe. He played 90% of snaps. When he's been healthy, he's been playing majority of the game. He is involved in the passing game. Last 2 games, 3 catches and 5 targets, 5 catches and 6 targets. So I think a very, very safe play at 8.4K. Going down a little bit more, so Tyler Higbee at 5'6", was limited. Keep an eye on this ankle injury. I think he'll be good to go. He played 100% of the snaps the first couple weeks, and then snaps went down a little bit, 79%. He's still playing majority of the game. He's still running a ton of routes. 6, 5, and 6 targets in 3 of the last 4 games. So another guy that I think is fine option. Probably doesn't have insane upside, but a relatively safe play as well. And then the 2 other receivers here, Van Jefferson, DeSean Jackson. So I think Van Jefferson much safer based on playing time. I think he's going to have more opportunity. 6 targets each of the last couple of weeks. He had a big game last game. Where DeSean Jackson more that boomer bust type guy, right? He's going to play less snaps, but he's going to run the deep routes. He caught a long touchdown 2 weeks ago. So Van Jefferson a little safer. DeSean Jackson maybe a little more upside, but definitely the riskier option. As far as the kicker goes, Matt Gay, perfectly fine option. 12, 9, 11, and 9 fantasy points in each of the first 4 weeks. So it's not bad for kicker, and kickers are always relatively safer options. As far as the defenses go, Rams D at 3K. I don't love it, but if I was going to play defense in the slate, I would rather go to the Rams D as opposed to the Seahawks D. And Sonny Michel, 1.8K, only played 10% of the snaps last week. So, unless something happens to Henderson, I'm not really interested in a guy like Sonny Michel. Johnny Munt's a backup tight end. He's more of a blocking tight end. He's also questionable. Don't have a ton of interest there. Just a large field tournament dart throw. And yeah, that's really it for the Rams. So let's move on to the Seahawks, and let's take a look at some snap counts here. So running back Chris Carson played 45% of the snaps. Alex Collins 39%. Homer played 16% of the snaps. At wide receiver, Lockett and Metcalf played 86 and 82% respectively. Then you had Freddie SWAIN play about half the game, 45%, with Hart playing 14%. And at tight end, Will Dissly played 82% of the snaps. And whatever Parkinson and Mabry are, got some run. Parkinson, 68%, again, whatever that is. And Marbury, 14%. So let's talk about players and the prices now. So Russ Wilson's 11.8K. Same thing I'll say about Stafford. I think a pretty safe option. This game projected to be a shootout, and whatever game's projected to be very high scoring. Both quarterbacks safe. Russ Wilson does have a little bit of rushing upside too. We haven't seen a ton from him on the ground, but a couple games around 20 yards on the ground. As far as Metcalf versus Lockett, this is just, it's really a coin flip. One of these guys is going to smash, and the other's probably going to bust. So, looking at DK Metcalf stats, last couple of weeks he's had big games. First 2, not as much. Lockett, first 2 weeks, smashed. 29, 34 fantasy points. Last 2 weeks, not so much. 7 and 6. So there's really, as I always say, there's no in-between of these guys. One of them's going to go off. The other one's going to bust. There's no, both these guys going to get 16 fantasy points each. No, doesn't happen. One's going to smash. One's going to bust. Good luck trying to figure out which one's going to be. So Metcalf limited in practice. Keep an eye on that. I think we'll be good to go. Again, both have similar upside, and both have a relatively low floor. So could you play them both together and hope that changes? I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it seems like almost every week that's the case, right? I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but almost every single week that I remember, one has a really good game, the other busts. Chris Carson at 6'6", so he's a guy that, if healthy, will get a majority of the touches on the ground. Now, he didn't practice on Tuesday due to a neck injury, so that's pretty important. If he can't go, that's going to open up some value for some of these other Seahawks running backs. So monitor that. If he's good to go, I think he's a decent option. A little bit involved in the pass game, not much, but we'll get the goal line carries. Freddie SWAIN at 4'6", he's their number 3 wide receiver. 5, 2, and 4 targets the last 3 weeks. Makes him in play, don't love it, but definitely viable for some salary relief. Will Dissly with Gerald Everett still on the COVID list, or actually maybe activated before Thursday game. So keep an eye on this situation. If Gerald Everett is in, then Everett's the guy we want to look to. If Everett's out, then Dissly's the guy, right? Dissly got the big boost with Everett out. So, whoever, if Everett's good to go, it's Everett. If Everett's out, then we want to look to Will Dissly. And then Jason Myers, again, relatively safe option. Kickers, both fine. Don't have a ton of upside, but they are in play on the show on slate. A guy like Alex Collins at 3.2K, if Carson's good to go, I'll probably pass. If Carson's out, then I like Collins a good amount. Would assume he would be the lead back then. And then Travis Homer's been getting a decent amount of snaps, but he's more used in passing down situations. So large field tournament play, for sure viable at only 1K. And Seahawks defense, would rather go to the Rams defense if it was going to go to 1. And then Penny Hart, just a large field tournament play too. Played about 14% of snaps last game. So that is really it for the video today, guys. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you could hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream on Thursday, general Q&A, so make sure to check that out, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you all on Thursday in the live stream.